I'm not really too sure what peak trans ideology is. I think I associate that kind of with Twitter because that's where I keep getting asked where I was peaked. So I think that's something from the Twitter world. But I can tell you, I absolutely do support trans rights and I do support trans people. I do have gender critical approaches to gender, but overall, I'm supportive of trans people. And you can find that. There's plenty of trans people that follow me and I follow back and they comment. We're in agreement. I like to center and raise up the voices of the trans people who can acknowledge biological sex and don't ask that gender identity take priority over biological sex. I am happy to respect pronouns. I am happy to respect gender identity within reason. And I think you'll find that most gender critical people are. And that's true even for people who get called TERFs or are considered to be the biggest TERFs. Like, people who get called TERFs are actually happy to respect your pronouns, to respect your gender identity, to see you as a man or a woman or whatever, but being asked to erase their own biological sex and their protections surrounding that is where they draw the line. And I think it's interesting that you bring up peak trans ideology, because to me what peak trans ideology looks like is those are the type of people who feel that they've had too much asked of them and they have seen the ugliest parts of the trans community. And obviously those types of things don't come from all trans people, but these people have seen the ugliest parts of the trans community, and that is what has piqued them. And that's why they're less willing to respect pronouns and respect gender identities. And they're allowed to feel like that. I hope one day the discourse can reach a point where like everyone can kind of generally come back to respecting one another, but that's not going to happen until we can talk about how biological sex exists and matters, and the rights and protections surrounding it matter as well. It's very much a situation where it's going to be both sides are going to need to do some work in order to get where we need to be. And while, yes, I do think both sides have work to do, I still think that the ball is very much in trans people's court at this time, because what they're asking of us to deny biological sex, use flimsy science to erase biological sex, is simply unreasonable, and it works to erase the rights of others. So until we can reach a medium where no one else's rights are being erased in favor of trans people's demands, then we're not going to get anywhere.